Okay. Ooh, I was loud there. Sorry. Call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Probably won't be a real long one. Will the clerk please take attendance?
5 council members are present, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Duran is home ill this evening, and Holly Tiltonburn, I'm not sure what her status is.
All right. Thank you. Action to approve the agenda. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Okay. City clerk, please call the roll.
Niemeyer,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker,
Aye.
Wendell,
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Okay. Item 4, open forum. If there's any member of the public who wishes to address the council on an item that's not listed on tonight's agenda, here's your chance. All right, we'll move on. Consent agenda, approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any public comments on any of the items on the consent agenda? Council have any questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker,
Aye.
Tiltonburn,
Aye.
Wendell,
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye. Okay, we go on to presentations and reports. We've got 2 proclamations this evening. I think we'll do the White Cane Day one first. Would the Brookings Disability Awareness Committee come up before us? Whereas the white cane demonstrates and symbolizes the ability to achieve a full and independent life and the capacity to work productively in competitive employment. And whereas the white cane, by allowing every blind person to move freely and safely from place to place, makes it possible for the blind to fully participate in and contribute to our society and to live the lives they want. And whereas the law requires that motorists, cyclists exercise appropriate caution when approaching a blind person carrying a white cane. Whereas the law also calls upon employers to be aware of and utilize the employment skills of our blind citizens by recognizing their worth as individuals and their productive capacities. Now therefore, I, Opke G. Niemeyer, Mayor of the City of Brookings, State of South Dakota, do hereby proclaim October 15th, 2023 as White Cane Awareness Day, and call upon all to utilize the available skills of blind persons and to recognize the white cane as a tool of independence. Thank you. If you want to say a few words.
I'm John Stauff, and on behalf of the Brookings Disabilities Awareness Committee, I'd like to thank the mayor for issuing the proclamation. Over the last 4 years, I believe, we've established a tradition on the committee to observe White Cane Awareness Day on Sunday, October 15th. This year, we'll be marching from Rotary Park, which, if you don't know, is at the corner of 6th Street and 22nd Avenue, marching toward the busiest intersection in Brookings, right by the Hy-Vee and Casey's and 22nd Avenue in Orchard. So that's happening. We're starting at 11:30. We're gathering at 11:30 and then marching at 12. And so we encourage you to come by, take a white cane, and understand what some members of our communities face as they seek to be accessing various city services as well as recreational pursuits. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Here.
Thank you.
And then invite Shelley Bear up. Shelley, tell me, what department are you in up at SDSU?
I'm in the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Accessibility.
All right, thank you. Whereas dyslexia affects 1 of every 5 people, regardless of gender, race, age, or socioeconomic status, and whereas dyslexia is the most common learning disability in children, representing 80 to 90% of all those with learning disabilities. And whereas dyslexia is characterized by difficulties with word recognition, spelling, decoding abilities, and whereas typical strengths of those with dyslexia include thinking outside the box, spatial reasoning, quickly seeing connections, adaptivity, creativity, and empathy. And whereas every child should be screened for dyslexia, as early diagnosis and appropriate intervention is critical for personal and academic success. And whereas parent awareness and appreciation for the assets that dyslexic individuals bring enhances the world. Now therefore, I, O.P.G. Niemeyer, Mayor of the City of Brookings, State of South Dakota, do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Dyslexia Awareness Month.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you. Thank you, Mayor Niemeyer, and for the wonderful advocates who brought this important topic to your attention. So my awareness regarding dyslexia began over a decade ago when I first realized that my son Noah is dyslexic. It's been quite a journey for both of us, and in that time I've learned a great deal from him as well as from the numerous advocates who have been on this journey far longer than us. Association Midwest Branch Board of Directors, I've met individuals who have been influenced for over 50 years. So today's Dyslexia Awareness Month proclamation recognizes the incredible strength and potential within the approximately 780 million dyslexics worldwide. In our quest to raise awareness, I'd like to shed some light on some newer groundbreaking research. A recent article by Science Focus indicates that individuals with dyslexia possess brains specialized in exploring the unknown. This unique strength has played a crucial role in the survival and progress of our entire species. Researchers have discovered that the brain evolved by specializing in different strategies. Some brains became adept at exploiting learned information, while others focused on discovery and invention. Those with dyslexia possess brains that excel at discovery and invention. Traditionally, dyslexia has been viewed negatively, often labeled as a disability. It's time to change that perspective. Dyslexia is not a disability, it is a difference. Advanced brain imaging techniques have revealed that individuals with dyslexia exhibit more long-range connections than local connections. In practical terms, this means they excel at global, big-picture thinking, and they thrive in collaborative environments. Imagine a world where we embrace dyslexic strengths rather than focusing on their difficulties. Imagine a society that appreciates the innovation that stems from these unique perspectives. The hurdles faced by dyslexic individuals often arise from environments emphasizing rote learning and procedural thinking. But what if we changed our approach? What if we saw dyslexia for what it truly is, a remarkable difference that, when nurtured and supported, fosters innovation and creativity? I envision a world where dyslexia is celebrated, like today. By recognizing dyslexia as a difference rather than a disability, we unlock unparalleled innovation. Together, we can create that world through awareness, and I want to thank Mayor Niemeyer and those advocating for dyslexia. Thank them for celebrating Dyslexia Awareness Month in Brookings. Thank you.
Okay, then we have Students Association report, SDSU, and Michael Garofalo is coming up to give us a what for.
A what for indeed, yes. The fit going on. Also, an additional disclosure, I'm not on the committee, but usually in these sorts of public settings, anyone associated with Hobo Day brings in a cowbell and makes a whole ruckus, and I thought better of that, so you're welcome. Moving real quick into, thank you. Real quick into Senate updates. We have some legislation on the table for the first time in a while. A couple weeks ago, we passed a commemoration October 15th as Hispanic Heritage. Final passage of a commemoration recognizing October as LGBTQ plus History Month. As far as internal matters go, we heard from the Parking Services Department. There was a little bit of confusion and dissatisfaction expressed because they oversold some spots in our southeast and commuter lots, so that's being fixed right now. There's some available space that's been opened up, and they're also enforcing a new repeat offenders policy as well. So if any of you ever manage to get 9 parking tickets on campus, which I hope none of you do, there'll be a new fine levied about $200. So just be aware of that. You're all good. And then we also are working with the campus and UPD about some enhanced security for the drag show taking place in November. We are also working with our diversity chair, Azleti Castillo, to work on getting senators to attend more events across the college, especially as we have a new Senate and we're working on a gas strategic plan this year. So we're working on branching out now that everyone kind of has their feet under them as time is going on. And then lastly, the Senate helped participate and helped spread the awareness for Hobos Fighting Hunger, which is our annual food drive on campus. And the organization that sponsors that, Jack's Cupboard, our on-campus food pantry, raked in about 1,200 pounds of food over the last couple weeks. So that was pretty great to watch unfold. And then, yeah, as I said, I'm here for SA, but also it's Hobo Week, yay. So I'll just run you through some of the events. Last night we had Bum a Meal, in which hobos from campus can go out into the community and enjoy a home-cooked meal. It was awesome. I have not had a home-cooked meal since like sophomore year of college, so it was nice. Tonight we have Bum Over, so you'll get to, students on campus will get to build hobo shanties in the Volsdorf Ballroom of the Union and see how those hold up. Wednesday night, we have Rally at the Rails, our big block party, which will have events and booths from all student organizations, including SA, so I'd encourage you to stop by. Thursday, we've got Bumfire. We've got a band called the Smoking Jacks, and we're also going to burn the big SD, so that'll be very exciting. Friday, we've got our talent show, and then Saturday is the big day. So I encourage all of you to engage with those events if you'd like to. It's just a really good time, and I'm more involved this year because I'm more involved in everything, but Hobo Day is one of the coolest things I've experienced at SDSU. So if you've not gotten involved in that, I'd encourage you to. It's really great. And then lastly, a couple updates. I reached out to our District 7 legislators about some upcoming ideas for session, waiting to hear back on that. The Student Federation update as well. The Board of Regents met last week at Mines and discussed some minor changes to graduation requirements and also the possibility of adding a civics requirement for graduation. So that is all I have. If there are any questions or anything.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for Michael?
I do have one question. Nick, could you just like take a picture of me or something? I think people would really get a kick out of it, especially because this was because of a dare, so I win. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Have a good night.
All right, ex officio. Councilman Avery or Rasmussen?
Yeah, I was at the meeting just until 4:30. So, as usual, I'm going to try to condense the 3.5-hour meeting into at least less than an hour and a half, if that so pleases the mayor. I'll go over just a few things that we did talk about or that were talked about. One was there's a new software for the billing system for the utilities. So when you get your bill this next month, it'll look a lot different. And they made a point of that, oh, this information, everybody knows it because it's come out in the last couple of billings and it's been on this place and that place. But it escaped me. I know I didn't see that, so I guess it would have been a surprise if the bill looked different. So be prepared for that. We talked a lot about water and different aspects of that. About was that we get all sources of the Big Sioux Aquifer, one at the called the Big Sioux, or the East Well Field of the Big Sioux Aurora Aquifer, and the other is the Big Sioux 6 Mile Creek Aquifer, generally in the same area. They're going to have, when they get their new water plant built, all of the water will be processed at the one plant, so we'll have consistent water quality and a little more control over that. They talked about maintaining our water rights. I guess at some point they expire, so they have to do all the process of making sure that the city of Brookings maintains a certain level of water rights, and they're asking probably for additional wells. Then there's a process of just protecting the groundwater sampling water, just maintaining the water quality, and then trying to determine what the rates for that water will be. Something that I hadn't heard of before is that the amount of water in the water tower is approximately 500,000 gallons, and that half of that is used, or can be used for water, and essentially a half of that is for fire protection, to make sure in the event of a fire you got plenty of water for that purpose. So the other couple things we talked about is the connections for the developments that we've got going on for water and sewer, for Branch Creek development, and for the 3 different projects on Trail Ridge and Maine. And those are all approved by the BMU board today for completion and for hookup. So that was a good thing. And then they talked about somebody asked about the 20th Street paving, and they indicated that they're pretty confident that in a few days the BMU part of the pipe installations would be done, but not so confident about when the paving might be done. So it kind of depends on the weather, and it's kind of very limited people that are involved in the paving process, I guess. So that wasn't quite as optimistic, but the pipe will be there. Whether it's covered up with any asphalt or not is a question, I guess. So I think that's all I have.
All right. In the hospital.
The meeting was on September. EO talked about information items. One of those that was discussed were the new standards that are being proposed on minimum staffing of nursing homes in South Dakota, which will be relevant to Brookings. Obviously, we have a lot of nursing homes here. He also mentioned that COVID's back, and at the time of the meeting, vaccines were not available in Brookings, but they are now. And they also had a good turnout at the Medicare seminars that were given up at the hospital. The CFO talked about the Medicaid expansion within the state and how that's going to affect the health system. The head of nursing mentioned that they're getting a new orthopedic surgeon, so they're being busy preparing for that. The administrative committee has been working on service contracts and capital improvement budget for 2024, and quality control talked about how the patient satisfaction surveys within Brookings are scoring higher than both the state and the national scores. So they were pretty happy about that.
Thank you. All right. Item 7A, action on resolution 23-093, a resolution awarding the bid for project 2023-03 STI Brookings Prairie Hills Trail. Josh Bauman, our Assistant Director of Parks and Rec, will present this item.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. The City of Brookings Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department is proposing to enter into South Dakota to complete the Prairie Hills Trail project through the Prairie Hills subdivision for a cost of $230,459.35. This project would be completed in 2 phases, with the first phase from Madera Avenue south to Sweetgrass Drive being completed in November of 2023, and a second phase going from Sweetgrass Drive to Main Avenue south being completed in June of 2024. Phase 1 consists of 4,006 square feet of shared use trail. That would be the portion that's up on the screen there right now. And then phase 2 from Sweetgrass Drive to Main Avenue south consists of 13,600 square feet of shared use trail, which is the yellow denoted line up on the screen right now. Sufficient appropriations are included in the 2023 and 2024 capital improvement projects budgets, and the City of Brookings has been awarded 2 separate recreational trails program grants totaling $114,084.40. Staff recommends approval of the resolution as presented.
Thanks, Josh. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any questions, comments? Please call the roll. I should ask, is there any public comment, questions? All right, please call the roll now.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Tilton Burn.
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye. Item 8, ordinances, first readings. Item 8A, introduction and first reading on ordinance 23-034, an ordinance authorizing amendment number 8 to the 2023 budget. Ashley Wrench, our finance director, will present this item.
This is ordinance 23-034, authorizing amendment number 8 to the 2023 budget. This ordinance will increase the expenditure budget authority by $115,000 in the 3B sales tax fund for the downtown master plan. The actual financial commitment for the city is 50% or $57,500, with 20% or $22,500 coming from downtown Brookings and 30% or $35,000 coming from Vision Brookings. The master plan will serve as a roadmap for commercial expansion and renovations, additional workforce housing, and the overall connectivity of downtown Brookings with existing neighborhoods and businesses. The second reading of this ordinance is on October 24th, and with that, we'll stand by for any questions. Thank you.
Is there any comments or questions from the public? Council have any questions or comments at this time? All right, we'll have a second reading on this on October 24th, 23 meeting, and this is the only first reading we have, so we're going on to item 9, public hearings and second readings. Item 9A, public hearing and action on ordinance 23-031, an ordinance to change the zoning within the city of Brookings, portion of Block 5 original plat addition from residence R2 to 2-family district and business B2A office district to a planned development district with business B1 central district underlined zoning. Mike Struck, our community development director, will present this item.
The item before you tonight is a rezoning request for Central Mental Health property immediately west of the 72-hour parking lot. The property is currently split zoned with 4 lots, 2 of which is like an R2 zoning, the other 2 is a B2A. They are seeking the rezoning to a planned development district with an underlying B1 zoning designation. Plan is for a future expansion of their facility at this particular location. Would like to get all the zoning under one district with the planned development district. They pursued that path. With a PDD, there does come additional design requirements and review approval process that you do not have to go through a traditional zoning designation, and they felt that in the proximity to the adjacent residential neighborhood that they wanted to show the plans of what this facility would look like and how they took the characteristics of the neighborhood and tried to design the facility so that it would fit in with a residential setting. This does come to you as a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, and the Development Review Team supports the rezoning request. And with that, I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Open the public hearing on this item. Is there any public comment? Close public comment. Does the council have any questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Specker.
Aye.
Tilton Burn.
Aye.
Wendell. Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Item 9B, public hearing and action on ordinance 23-032, an ordinance to change the zoning within the city of Brookings, 1.57 acres in reserve 4th edition from business B2A office district to business B2 district. Mike Struck, our development director, will present this item also.
The rezoning item to you before you tonight, south across from the Fishback Soccer Complex. The proposal is to rezone the property from a business B2A office district to a business B2 district. It is consistent with our comprehensive plan with the urban medium intensity Item of note here is when the property was originally zoned B2A, it sought that designation because of the proximity to the residential areas to the east. We have since updated our ordinance where we have buffer yard requirements, so that helps provide a little bit better landscaping and design and buffering between the adjacent properties. B2 is our most common commercial zoning district, and it's very similar to with other B2 zoning requests along this 20th Street corridor. This does come to you as a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission. The Development Review Team supports the rezoning request. And with that, I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I open the public hearing on this item. Is there any public comments on this item? Close the public hearing. Council have any questions, comments? Councilmember Specker?
I have a quick question. A little bit, like summarize the difference between the two different zones, like why would you go from 2A to 2?
B2A is a more restrictive zoning designation. It's more of an office type district, so it would severely limit the types of uses that you could do in that area. You're pretty much looking at professional offices, maybe like a medical clinic, an eye clinic, dentist, financial type offices, insurance offices. B2 is a little bit more general zoning. It's really a lot of the zoning that you're seeing along 20th Street South, as well as a lot of your zoning along 6th Street between Main and like 22nd Avenue is B2. Once you get east of 22nd Avenue, it switches to B4. So it just provides more opportunities. Other areas where you see some of the B2 is the mall locations along 22nd Avenue South as well. Provides more flexibility.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Tilden Burn,
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery,
Aye.
Niemeyer,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Item 9C, public hearing and action on ordinance 23-033, an ordinance to change the zoning within the city of Brookings. 0.57 acres in reserved 4th edition from business B3 heavy district to business B2 district. Mike Struck will also present this item.
Thank you, Mayor and members. Item before you this evening is along 20th Street South in the Reserve Edition. This is on Avenue. You can see the area highlighted in red. Primary driver behind this rezoning is rezoned from a B3 to a B2 district. A couple items down the road, you'll see a revised preliminary plat, and we just want to make sure that we match up the zoning so we don't end up with split zoning down a parcel or a lot. So that's the driving force. You can see on the overhead map the red box on the left side of our screen. The yellow is the B2. The proposed revised preliminary plat would extend northward approximately 60, 70 feet. So it's just to avoid the split zoning on a parcel. It's a cleanup matter. This does come to you as a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission. The Development Review Team supports the request, and I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Open the public hearing on this item. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, close the public hearing. Does council have any questions, comments? Okay. Councilmember Wendell? Okay, sorry. Please call the roll.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery,
Aye.
Niemeyer,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker, Tilden Burn.
Aye.
Okay, so we're done with the second hearings. Item 9D, public hearing and action on a temporary alcohol application from Brookings Area Chamber of Commerce. And I'll let the rest of this to Bonnie Foster, our city clerk.
Mayor, council members, and members of the public, this is indeed a temporary alcohol application received from the Brookings Area Chamber of Commerce. They're wanting to hold a downtown watch party on October 28th in the 300 block of Main Avenue. All required documents have been submitted and reviewed. Staff recommends approval.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Open public hearing on this item. Any public comments? Close public hearing. Council have any questions, comments? I have one comment. It is a watch party, but it's for the USD game. And so if some of you are not able to make it down to the USD game, you're invited downtown. The Chamber of Commerce is our host. And with that being said, please call the roll.
Avery,
Aye.
Niemeyer,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
Specker,
Aye.
Tiltonburn,
Aye.
Wendell.
Motion passes. Other business. Action on acceptance of the solid waste master plan. John Thompson, our Public Works Director, will present this item.
Members, John Thompson with Public Works. This evening, staff is requesting that your council accept the proposed solid waste master plan as a guiding document for the solid waste division, which includes the operation of the city's landfill and also the solid waste collection. This proposed solid waste master plan was initially presented to your council on September 19th study session. With me tonight, representing our consultant, HDR Incorporated, is Kate Barlett. Kate Barlett is HDR's Resources, Sustainability, and Resiliency Lead, and she will be providing a summarized presentation of what she provided to you on September 19th. After the presentation, staff will remain available for any questions. Kate?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you for this opportunity to present the findings from the solid waste management plan. So just,
Bring the mic closer. There you go.
is that better?
Yes.
Thank you. Just to set the stage, working towards in all of the work for the plan. One was residential and employee safety. That safety factor was our primary focus in ensuring all operations at the landfill and the collections were ensuring our residents and our staff were safe in their operations of what they were doing. A second goal was really trying to ensure public trust and understand what we were doing and being able to transparently communicate that with your residents so they also understood where we were going. And the third was that financial stability. And how do we make sure that the programs can operate with those prudent capital reserves to ensure a successful program going forward? We involved the stakeholders of your community in this conversation. We had our first meeting on March 2nd, where we really brought together residents from the community and various organizations to hear what was working, what wasn't working, and where they wanted to see things going. And the findings from that meeting were really built into that final master plan. We had a second engagement meeting on June 1st, where we brought forth what is that draft plan, and the participants were supportive of that recommendation. So we're gonna look at some of those key recommendations, first from the collection side. So this is your curbside collection of trash, yard waste, and recycling. There was 6 key recommendations that came out of the plan, ranging from expanding the preventative maintenance schedule to ensure that that equipment was operating efficiently, replacing those collection trucks more frequently to match kind of industry standards and ensure the safety of your drivers, establishing a schedule for replacing your garbage carts. Those are assets that you have on the street, and how do we ensure those assets stay in good condition? Looking at a route optimization study. So this is how your materials are picked up at the curb. How can that be done more efficiently and safely? Fifth is looking at decreasing yard waste collection frequently to as an option of from twice a week to once a week. And that 6th option was looking at an additional truck and driver to add to your collection fleet. And next, we're going to look at what we recommended coming out of the landfill operations. So here again, we've got 6 key recommendations. That first recommendation is regarding installing a direct sewer line from the landfill to the wastewater treatment plant for the movement of that water that comes through the landfill cells, so for more efficient operations and really to allow your facility to grow and operate into the long term. Looking at extending the life of the landfill just by compacting that garbage more tightly and looking at how we're changing those day-to-day operations. Thinking about permitting the future planned expansion for your landfill now so we can be transparent with what you're planning on doing and where you want to be going. Fourth, looking at increasing the public's safety and comfort when they're visiting the landfill, first by adding additional signage, and secondly, by increasing a citizens campus event area. And just to note, those two areas really came from the public directly at those public meetings. Those were things that were requested. And that sixth is really looking at replacing equipment at the end of life and purchasing backup equipment. One of the focus areas was really trying to understand how much capacity you have and where your system ranks from across the communities. So we did a lot of studying on where you're at in cost, where you're at in diversion. So currently in the United States, about 50% of what's generated is disposed of outside of landfilling. Here in Brookings, you're looking at about a 30% diversion rate. So right now you're below the national average. So there's some recommendations in that master plan to really help residents understand what they can do and optimize those systems that you already have through education and engagement. So in summary, the city is currently providing exceptional service for its residents and businesses at a low cost compared to the regional economy. The stakeholders and the public are satisfied with current services. The current system, however, does not currently have prudent operating reserves to ensure ongoing operations. So small increases in tipping fees and collection fees are needed to ensure that the system can continue safely and effectively going forward. And once again, these recommendations really went around those three areas of safety, reducing risk, and engaging residents.
So with that, we stand for any questions.
I had a couple of questions. You had noted that the national average is 50%. We're well below that at 30%. But I noticed in the report that we had a higher diversion rate than the other benchmarking cities that we were comparing ourselves against. Do you have any sense of why our diversion rate is stronger than some of our benchmarking peers? And are there certain practices that seem to be working in Brookings that we should lean into that could help us tick that number up even more?
Mayor and council member, so yes, the system that you have in place with your curbside collection of recycling is really what sets you apart from some of the communities we looked at. You have weekly collection of recycling, where in some of the other communities, they only have drop-off sites or by every other week collection of recycling. So your program in place is really effective. You could really try and increase your diversion rate by increasing participation in those programs and increasing what people are diverting.
My second question was related to the maintenance on our fleet. I noticed one of the recommendations was related to technicians that were prepared to service our vehicles. In cities that you've been in, is that skilling up some of our existing technicians to work on our fleet, or is it hiring staff that would be specific to collections fleet?
So for us here, we contract out for our solid waste collection fleet for more of the intense or technical. We are trying to move it more internally, but that would require us to build up staffing on the inside. Right now we have one staff member who handles all the fleet. He'll do the preventive maintenance and the ongoing like that, but when it gets to something like a transmission repair or engine repair on the solid waste collections, we'll send that out. It's just too much to ask for internally.
Okay. Councilman Avery.
Just a question on the, I know that said a direct sewer line. So that's a line that would initiate at the landfill and go directly to the wastewater treatment plant then, or would it tie into another existing line or something?
So council member, this would go from our leachate collection system at the landfill and be kind of considered like a force main down to the manhole right at the highway patrol. We've got one out there, that's the last manhole in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So it would catch the end of the sanitary sewer system right now and then be diluted all the way down until it hits the influent side of the wastewater plant.
Okay.
Thank you. I've kind of scheduled, how much of this plan is gonna like be coming back before city council, or will it primarily be just administrative changes?
We're looking at this as we're asking the council for just acceptance tonight as a guiding document. Each year on the budget, you'll see portions of it come back, and that's how you'll see that come back on the budgets.
So,
Mayor, members of the council, I just want to commend John, citizens of Kate. This will be the city's first solid waste master plan. I appreciate their foresight on this, and this will provide an exceptional guiding document for the future of the solid waste division. So thank you for your efforts.
okay, entertain a motion to. Is there any public comment? Questions? Any other comments, questions from council? Please call the roll.
Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Tildenburn.
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Okay, item 10B, action on resolution 23-092, a resolution to vacate Lucerne Circle. And Mike Struck, our community development director, will present this item.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Tonight is to vacate the platted right-of-way for Lucerne Edition. This right-of-way was platted in 2017, however, the road was never completed. The developer is proposing to straighten the throat of the cul-de-sac, and in doing so needs to vacate this plat in order to replat the right-of-way as they wish to proceed. The only change is the original had a little bit of a curve in the right-of-way, and they just want to straighten it out. Staff recommends approval, and I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, council questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Tildenburn.
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye. Item 10C, action on a revised preliminary plat for lots 1 and 2 in Block 1 of Reserve 4th Edition. Mike Struck, our community development director, will present this item also.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Is a revised preliminary plat in the Reserve 4th Edition. This was the preliminary plat was essentially is there's 2 lots on the west side of Christine. The plan is they wanted to make the south lot about 60 feet larger to the north. Per our regulations, it requires a revised preliminary plat. So they're just extending the boundary approximately 60 feet further north. No other changes are really at this time. And this does come to you as a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, and the Development Review Team supports the request, and I'd stand for any questions you may have.
So moved.
Second.
Specker.
Aye.
Tildenburn.
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer. Rasmussen.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. The action item before you now is review and approval of the initial development plan for the East Central Mental Health, Brookings Behavioral Health and Wellness, the Ivy Center. This was subject to rezoning to a planned development with a B1 underlying zoning district earlier tonight. As part of that process, an initial development plan is required as a submittal showing kind of the site layout, the building. They provide elevation drawings and such. Through the planned development process, it's a little different than your traditional zoning, and so it does go through an extended review process where the Planning Commission reviews, provides a recommendation to the City Council, and the City Council ultimately decides on the approval of the initial development plan. If approved, then it moves to another step with their final development plan where they continue to fine-tune the details, and that is approved solely by the Planning Commission. This project is a welcome addition to the community as they're looking to expand the services available to the community. They're looking at a two-phased addition onto the existing building on the north and south ends of the building. You can see some of the conceptual designs that they're showing there. They really tried to focus on blending this in to the residential neighborhood with trying to keep their roof line similar to what you would find in a residential setting, utilizing different materials on the exterior, incorporating landscaping, and then just an incorporation of some of the varying roof peaks as well. On the south side of the building, they are incorporating pergola to help break up a little bit of that facade that you would see from the 4th Street side. On the west side, between the additions, they are planning a courtyard that they can utilize for some exterior space for learning and counseling services as well. There are a couple of exceptions that they are requesting through the process. There's a reduced buffer yard to the north, primarily along the areas where they have some of their HVAC units, their air conditioning and such, wanting to utilize fencing material so that there's enough room between the units and the edge of the property so they can service them appropriately. And then in the northeast corner, kind of along the alley, they're proposing to place their garbage bin within the required buffer yard landscaped area. We did discuss those items at both the Development Review Team and the Planning Commission. We felt those were appropriate. When you start looking at, this is really kind of an office, professional office type setting. The type of waste they're going to generate is really no different than what we generate in this building. A lot of paper recyclable products. Occasionally staff eat at their desks or such, but very little food waste. Smells don't appear to be a significant factor in weighing in on this. This does come to you with unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, and the Development Review Team does support the request. And with that, I'd stand for any questions you may have.
Thanks, Mike. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any public comments? Please come forward.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of the applicant here from ID8 Architecture, where our office did the design process for this, and really thinking through the scale of the building and the scale of the buffer yards, wanted to just add a little bit of explanation. Our request to do a buffer yard on the north side that is half the normal 20 feet, so 10 feet, is in direct correlation to our also taking the height down by half from what a typical B1 would be. So we're kind of proportionally trading height limitation for that buffer yard request. I'll also be available if there are any specific questions about the design.
Thank you. Close public hearing on this. Comments, questions from council? I, for one, really like the look of it. It's definitely going to be an asset to the community. We already have an asset as far as the Ivy Center, but having more facilities and more counseling is definitely going to change the game a little bit for us in town. That being said, please call the roll.
Tilton Burn.
Aye.
Wendell.
Aye.
Avery.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Okay, that's pretty much all the business we got. We do have a meeting next Tuesday night, study session, and we will have a little bit of a presentation on how conditional use permit process is done, and parameters and recommendations, and then budget session number 3, our outside agencies and our economic development part will be doing presentations. And then we have regular meeting on the 24th. We'll have the one first reading we had. There'll be second reading on that. And then budget amendment number 8, and then first reading on our budget ordinance. And then other business, we've got snow operations plan, downtown master plan award and presentation, a couple actions on police and the general union agreements, report from the assistant to the city manager, and then do we have anything that the council would like to bring up for future discussion? Councilmember Wendell.
An item that I'm hoping that staff could maybe give us some additional information on and then potentially bring back to council if it's appropriate, at the very least, provide a report to councilors potentially in our 1-on-3 meetings. I don't know if anyone's been following the news this week that there was a considerable amount of cybersecurity grant funding made available through the federal government that the state of South Dakota turned away because we weren't interested in administering the grants. So I was curious if our IT staff and other folks that may have expertise could give us a sense of whether or not we would have needs that would meet the criteria outlined in that grant. I think we see certain requests come forward through the CIP process and other budgetary needs, even in some of our partner agencies through BMU and the hospital related to cybersecurity. I'd be curious to know if we've got looming investments hanging out there that potentially federal dollars and these grant dollars could assist with. And then the second part of that would be a little bit of research around whether or not an individual municipality or a coalition of municipalities in the state could still pursue these grant dollars even though our state has not developed a mechanism to pursue the grant dollars. I would just hate for us to find ourselves 2 or 3 years from now investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in cybersecurity measures, or to put ourselves at risk because we've not been able to invest in the same cybersecurity measures our neighboring municipalities have been because we turned away federal grant dollars. So.
Is there a second on this request?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion? I have no problem with it either. Jake, how do you foresee us process this?
Yeah, I would envision staff certainly provide an update to City Council. As Councilmember Wendell mentioned, there may be different venues we consider that update, but long and the short of it is we can certainly complete that research and provide the update as requested.
Thanks.
All right. No other discussion on this. Please call the roll.
Aye.
Niemeyer.
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Specker.
Aye.
Tiltonburn.
Aye.
Okay. So, any other questions, comments from council? Please, all of you, enjoy Hobo Day weekend and behave yourselves and make sure the chief doesn't have to come and take care of you. And that goes for all of our SDSU students also. So, good night. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.